I'll be the first one to admit it, I was dead wrong about Toronto condos. Once a month, I love to break down the numbers and walk you through what's been going on for Toronto condos. And either if that's to rent or to buy, I like to break down different layouts and let you know what's going on in the Toronto condo market. And this month in July particularly was crazy. We're seeing rents really skyrocket in Toronto, and we're seeing condo prices start to decline. So we're going to break down all of that in this video this week. Very quickly, my name is Gabriele Battista from Homes into Reality. I'm a Toronto real estate agent with the focus of helping first-time buyers get into home ownership with confidence. If you were a first-time buyer and you want to book a call with me, in the description, you have a link to book a call. You have my phone number, my email. You're happy to reach out and talk about your particular situation on becoming a first-time buyer in Toronto. I also post weekly on this channel, so you're in those early stages. You're not there yet. You're happy to watch every single week as I break down the Toronto real estate market and make it easily digestible and easy for first-time buyers like yourself. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the numbers. We're going to be looking at the median price points of condo rents and condo purchasing numbers for 4 different layouts. We have our studios, our 1 bedrooms, our 1+ dens, and our 2 bedrooms. And we're going to start with our studio condos. And our studio condos are going to be our smallest layout. It's one big combined living area. And with the studio condos, you're looking at a median price point to rent in July of $2,250 a month. And that is up $100 from last month at $2,150. So we're looking at a very significant price increase in a very short period amount of time. A lot of that has to do with the student rental market, which we're going to talk a ton about in this video. But we're seeing a very sharp jump in the studio prices. What's important to look at is the exact same thing happened with studio prices last year. If you look at June 2022, the median price point to rent was $1,900, while the next month in July of 2022 was $2,052 as the median price point. So that was an increase of $150 in just a span of 30 days. So we have seen these jumps before in studio prices. With that being said, it still shows how dramatic they are. And the fact that they both happened from June to July shows when the desperation, when the demand really kicks up for the student rental market. Now moving on for studio rents to studio purchase prices. And this price point will be the most volatile of everything we talk about today, just because of the very small amount of studios that transact on a month-to-month basis. We're looking at a median price point to purchase a studio condo at $478,000. And this fluctuates a lot. Like last month in June, we were at $509,000. So a difference in almost 30, actually more, it'd be almost $40,000. So it's not as reliable because anywhere between, let's say, 15 to 30 studios transact every single month. So it's not a really accurate number. With that being said, it is trending downwards. I think a lot of prices, maybe the last month was a little bit too high, but they are trending slightly downwards just based off this 1 month's data. Now moving on to 1 bedroom rents. We have seen an increase in 1 bedroom rents as well. We're up about $70 a month over month, with a median price point of $2,500 a month. And that's after we've seen many months of being stuck around the $2,400 a month number. With this month being extremely busy in the rental market, we have seen a jump pretty confidently up to $2,500 a month. You look at the 1 bedroom condo prices from last year versus this year, the red being 2022, orange being 2023. We're not seeing as volatile of a market compared to last year, where prices really were fluctuating on a month-to-month basis. These changes in price every single month are much smaller, and it shows in a much better, more stable market, more steady, isn't as volatile. There are some adjustments to be made as we head into the summer market and with higher interest rates. So we can probably see some declines in condo prices. With that being said, they're nowhere near where they were in 2022, where they're changing by tens of thousands of dollars every single month. Now let's keep the ball rolling with our 1+ dens. If we're starting to look at the rent prices first, we're looking at a median price point to rent of $2,733 a month. That is up a similar amount, about $70, $80 a month from last month, where it was $2,660. So we are seeing increases very similar to the 1 bedrooms. We're seeing increases month over month, again showing that very strong student market. I would say this is very similar to the increase that we saw in 2022 as well, where in June to July we saw an increase of about $80 in rental prices. And actually, if you look at the graph for the 1+ den rents, it's following a very similar trajectory month over month if we look at the blue versus the orange. I have to admit, when it was early on in the year, we're getting closer to the summer months, I didn't think we were going to see similar gains in the rental market compared to what we saw last year, which were significant gains. And as we're looking at these rental graphs, and we'll see as we go on the video, they're very similar to what we saw last year. Very similar timelines, very similar amounts jumping up. So we're seeing a very, very strong rental market, which I didn't think we'd see to this extent. I thought we probably saw some increases in rent as the market gets very tight in the summer months, but I didn't think to this extreme. I do have a pretty confident idea why this is, and we'll talk about that more at the end of the video. But I could tell you I definitely did not think this was going to go this high this quickly. Keep the train going. We're going to go median price points for a 1+10 to purchase. You're looking at a median price point of $658,000. It's slightly down from last month where the median price point was $671,000. So it's following a very similar trend to your 1-bedroom purchase prices, where they're down a little bit month over month, not extreme amount, but they're definitely down a little bit. And again, looking at 1+10s, not as volatile. We're not really seeing huge gains or decreases on a month-to-month basis for your 1+10 purchasing prices. Now going to our last layout is our 2-bedroom condo. It's our biggest layout in the end. We're looking at a median price point of $3,375 a month versus last month we were at $3,241 a month. That's about an increase of $130 a month. And that's very significant. I've never seen 2-bedroom condo rents at this price point, at least the median number. It includes your entry-level 2 bedrooms and your more expensive 2 bedrooms. So we're definitely pushing the envelope when it comes to these 2-bedroom rent prices. The interesting thing about 2 bedrooms and studios, they're always a little bit more in demand for 2 different reasons. A lot of people love 2 bedrooms because it allows them to have a roommate. They're able to split the rent. So it becomes a very big or very popular type of condo that many people start to look at. And then studios are also very popular for the reason that it's the most affordable condo to get into. So if someone's committed to individual independent living and they have a restricted budget, they're going to look at a studio because that's the cheapest they can get it at. So both 2 bedrooms and studios have their big pluses and big high demand points for different reasons. But maybe that's why these rents have jumped up more than the 1-bedroom and 1+10s. Even though everything's jumped up in price, we can see the studios and the 2 bedrooms have gone up significantly month over month. And lastly, our 2-bedroom condo sold prices. We're actually up when it comes to 2-bedroom condo sold prices. The median price point to purchase a 2-bedroom condo in Toronto, we're looking at $781,000. And that's up from last month at $768,000. So we have seen some changes going up. If you look at the graph overall, it's been relatively flat, fluctuating for the past 4 months. Just going up and down every single month. So we'll have to see what the long-term effects of the 2-bedroom condo is. But if we look at the short term, it has gone up. Let's try to break down my overall thoughts on the rental market, maybe why this is happening really quickly. I am a bit surprised that this is happening. In 2022, it made sense why rent prices shot up so quickly. You're looking at a market where we were still recovering for the COVID-19 pandemic. Rents were at a very low value compared to they were 2 years ago, and they were catching up. They caught up to what it was normal pre-COVID. So we saw a lot of increases during those summer months. But now, this year in 2023, I didn't think we'd see the same increases going on. And what's apparent is in June, July, and August, we've been seeing those increases. Prices have really shot up to the exact same levels or same percentages that we saw last year in 2022. So to me, that points to a very particular problem. In these summer months, a lot of times student rentals become very, very in demand. So particularly, studios, 2 bedrooms, things that students would enjoy. Downtown core becomes extremely competitive, at least in my experience. I'm seeing the most competitive prices being right by UFT, right by TMU, the big university pockets, and even a little closer to Downsview, where you're getting closer commutes to York University. Students need a place to live. And the key thing to note is universities tend not to provide students with residences. After year 1 or whatever it is, they allow students to rent wherever they want, which is fine. But the problem is this demand is all isolated and built up for a September 1st move-in date. Students need to find a place by September 1st, which makes them extremely motivated to pay whatever price it takes to find a home, because they have to find a home before September 1st. And over the last 2 years, you're seeing that these increases have been very isolated towards June, July, and August. And for me, that's the biggest factor. That's really hurting the rental market, hurting affordability when it comes to renting out a condo in Toronto. I can use some of the boots on the ground experience that I have right now as being a real estate agent in the Toronto rental market right now. Is I'm seeing landlords really get aggressive with their price points to the point where they're actually looking for students. They're looking for students to rent to because they know the motivation of students is much stronger than, let's say, a couple who can move in the summer or in the winter or in the fall, whatever it is. But when there's such high motivation, they're actually having very aggressive rental prices going on the north end. So for example, let's say the market value of a studio was $2,100 in the beginning of the year. They might try 23 because they're in the position where they can. There's so many students out there where someone might bite at $2,300 a month. Now, was it worth $2,300 when it was listed? No. But with so many landlords setting the new standard of getting more aggressive rents, it pushes up market value. And now that those comparables are there and that standard is set, a lot of these people are willing to pay $2,300, for example, for a rental. I've seen it on multiple occasions. And I can see these rental numbers continue to rise into September until they settle down after the student market. It almost will be predictable when the rental market calms down. In September, after maybe 2 weeks, when the rental market cools, the students already have their places, the rental market likely will cool. But, is that a prediction? I'm confident in saying it. Only time will tell on that end. The funny thing is I can use that exact same experience to talk about the Toronto condo purchasing market, because we're definitely not seeing that same smoke, that same fire where we're seeing condos fly off the shelves of the purchasing market. I'm seeing right now there's a lot more supply and inventory on the market that's built up. But what's apparent in the numbers is I'm not seeing any extreme price changes. And is that because condo owners are a little bit more, not aggressive, but they're able to hold on to their product a little bit longer? Maybe they have a good alternative to rent out the property if they don't get what they're looking for at the purchasing market. I'm not sure, but we're definitely not seeing major declines in condo prices. Like if we put up condo prices overall, they are down from the peak of, let's say, May, but they're not down as much as, say, a detached, semi-detached home. You see the graphs over here. And that's maybe because their alternative is a very strong rental market. And maybe it takes time for condo prices to jump down. It takes time at these higher interest rates. It's obviously not an attractive market for a lot of first-time buyers. Interest rates are high. It's not easy to afford a home. And your condos are really going to attract your first-time buyers most of the time. It's not an attractive market for investors because the interest rates are so high. So for a first-time buyer to move in, they need a really good reason to do so. So the good things are going to go, but your average cookie-cutter Toronto condo may not go as quickly unless it's priced properly and maybe priced slightly below what the values have been getting, because prices are going down. But you know what? For condo prices, that's what I'm watching maybe the most, whereas I'm the most uncertain of if they're going to stay stable or if we're going to see some minor declines. Let's wrap up the video over here. One thing I hope you appreciate is I do my best to give very raw, unfiltered thoughts when it comes to Toronto real estate. I want to give you exactly what I'm thinking, exactly what I'm feeling, no matter how crazy or all over the place it is. Because it is definitely a very scary market for a lot of people. And very scary, the best way we can look at that is look at the numbers. Make a decision that's very unemotional by looking at the stats and the trends and seeing where these things are going. And with these graphs and understandings, we should get a good sense of what's going on in the Toronto condo market. And the best way for us to do that is watch, understand, follow trends on a month-to-month basis. So if you want to come back here, watch more videos, which you put out every single week about the Toronto condo market, Toronto real estate market, and being a first-time buyer in Toronto, do so, subscribe here. I hope to see you next week. Talk soon as always.